For this page, we're going to look back at Chris and the spinner that he was spinning yesterday. Yesterday, he spun the spinner 20 times, and these are all of the results that he got. This page is asking us to do something a little bit different from yesterday. You'll notice there's a column here that says PC as a percent. That means the probability of getting C as a percent. All of the boxes are gray except for a couple of them right here. These are the boxes that we're going to be filling out. We'll just ignore all the gray ones. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on the first one. And so I want to figure out what is the probability of getting a C as a percent for just these 5 trials right here. So I'm going to start recording that on the side. And if any time I'm going too fast, feel free to pause the video so you can copy what I'm writing. I know that my probability is going to be written as a fraction first. The denominator is how many trials. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trials. So that's my denominator. The numerator is going to be how many times do we land on a C? Just one time. Now to turn this fraction into a percent, I want the denominator to be 100. So I'm going to multiply the top and the bottom by 20. Get 20 over 100. So that means the percent is 20%. Then we're going to go down to our next blank right here. And again, we're finding the same thing. What's the probability of getting C as a percent? So probability of getting C. This time, we're doing all of these trials, not just this little block, but the whole thing. So now, there were 10 trials. So 10 is our denominator. And how many C's were there in this whole thing? 1. That's it, just 1. Now to turn this fraction into a percent, I want this denominator to be 100. So I do times 10, and I'm running out of room, but that's 10 over 100. So our percent is 10. Last one that we'll do together. Over here, the probability of getting C at this time, we're on trial 15. So we're looking at this entire row. The denominator is going to be 15 because that's how many trials there were. Now how many C's are there in this entire thing? 1, 2, 3. Now we need to change it into a percent. 15 times what equals 100? I think that would be a decimal. So if I have a number here that's tricky to turn into 100, I'm going to turn it into a 1. 15 divided by itself is 1. And then I have to divide the top by 15. So I'm going to do 3 divided by 15, 0.2. I'm going to rewrite that down here because it's kind of hard to see. 0.2 over 1. Now that I have this, I can easily turn a 1 into 100. Times 100, times 100, and I would get 20 over 100, 20%. And notice what's happening to our experimental probability. Used to be 20, then it jumped down to 10, then it's back up to 20. Our experimental probability is changing the more that we do this. Now pause here real quick. We're going to skip to the next page. Here it gives us a graph, the probability of getting C. Down here it has the number of trials, and over here it's the probability. Starting with this one, I know that at 5 trials, the probability was 20%. So here at 5 trials, 0.2, that's 20%. I'm just going to put a dot right there. 5 trials was 20%. Down here, 10 trials was 10%. So I'm going to put that probably about right there. And I'm just going to continue making these dots. Now on your own, you need to figure out the percentages for the rest of these. But if you look at this, these ones are all blank. You are actually going to do this experiment on your own. Each of you is either going to get or should get a copy of the spinner and a paper clip. You're going to put your pen right here and your paper clip underneath it, and you're going to spin the paper clip, and hey, it landed on A. So I would write A here. And you're going to fill in all of the rest of those. You can ignore this part down here. I don't know why that's included. You're going to fill out all of the rest of these using your spinner. Then you're going to figure out the percentages, just like we did over here. When you're done filling in this column and filling out the percentages, you're going to record the rest of those on your graph here. Once you've finished the graph, you can check that with me. And once you have checked your work with me, you'll turn to the back and answer the very last 2 questions of today's assignment. So that's what you have to work on today.